Hello, this is Mr. Stein, and in this video we are going to go through the 3D shapes and terminology pre-assessment. Okay, so let's take a look at our questions here. Question number 1, choose one shape for the shapes below and list 4 of its attributes. Attributes might include the number of sides, the length of the sides, whether they have parallel sides, perpendicular sides, whether they have sides of the same length, number of angles, size of angles, angles of same sizes, etc. The more general you can be, the better. I'm going to choose letter A. So its attributes. It has 4 equal length sides. It has 4 equal size angles. All angles are right angles. They're square angles. So you can put that like this with the little squares. All angles are right angles. And it has that's a pair of parallel sides. This is also a pair of parallel sides. It also has 2 pairs of parallel sides. So there's 4 attributes for shape A. You should be able to do 4 attributes for shape B, for shape C, and for shape D as well. Choose 2 shapes from the group above and describe the attributes that make them the same and different. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to choose shape C and D. So let's look at shape C and D. All right, so we're going to talk about shape C and D. I'm going to build a chart. How they're the same and how they're different. Okay, so C and D, how are they the same? Well, they both have some non-right angle sides. They both have angles that are not right angles. They both have angles that are not perpendicular. Remember, that's the symbol for perpendicular. If you look on C, these 2 sides are the same size, and these 2 sides are the same size. So they both have 1 pair of equal sides. That's another way that they're the same. Let's talk about how they're different. So I'm going to do C in orange and D in this blue. So C has 3 sides and angles, whereas D has 4 sides and angles. D has 1 pair of parallel sides, it's a trapezoid, and C has no pairs of parallel sides. So C, no pairs, parallel sides, and D, 1 pair of parallel sides. All right, so that's enough information for number 2. You should be able to tell the similarities and differences between shapes like this. Let's go into number 3. Label a side and a vertex on the following shape. How many sides and how many vertices does it have? So let's look at sides. Sides I'm going to highlight in pink. There's one side right there in pink. There's a side. Vertices, I'm going to highlight in blue. There's one vertex right there. And there's one vertex. A vertex is where two sides meet. Now, if you look quickly at this, you'll count that there are 5 sides. There are also 5 vertices. Do you think every two-dimensional shape has the same number of sides as vertices? Think about triangles and squares and other shapes that you know. Do you think that's true? Number 4, label and we don't need that and there. Label a face, an edge, and a vertex on the following shape. How many of each does it have? So I'm going to do the face in this orange. So I'm going to do the front face. There's a front face right there. There's my face. A face is a flat surface on a three-dimensional object. My edge I'm going to do in pink. There's one edge right there. An edge is a line where two faces meet. And lastly, a vertex. A vertex is a point, such as right there. I did that in blue. This is a vertex. A vertex is a place where two or more edges meet. Okay, now let's try and count out the faces and the vertices and the edges. The faces. There's 1 in the front, 2 in the back, 3 on the side, 4 on the bottom, 5 on this other side. There's 5 faces. Edges. We have 1, 2, 3 edges on the sides, 4, 5, 6 edges, 7, 8, 9 edges. 9 edges. And vertices. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 vertices. This shape is called a triangular prism. It's called a triangular prism because it is the shape of a triangle dragged out into 3 dimensions. Can you draw a shape that has 4 vertices and 6 sides? Show your work. I'm going to put down 4 vertices right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are my 4 vertices. They are in orange. And now we're going to do some sides in pink. All right. So a side has to go from one vertex to another. So I draw a side from here to here. I can draw one from here to here, one from here to here. Okay, that's 4 sides. Now, 6 more. Now I need 2 more sides. But let's say I draw another side like this. Well, then this one in here, this one right here, this is no longer a side. It's now inside the shape. It's no longer a side of the shape. So that doesn't work. If I draw a diagonal, this is a diagonal and not a side. So right here, this is a diagonal and not a side because it's not on the edge of the shape. It's inside the shape. So there is no way that I can do this. It's not possible. I would need to draw lines inside or outside the shape. All right. Let's look at the cube below. How do the edges of a cube compare to the sides of a square? Well, let's take a look at this cube. Here's an edge right here, highlighted in orange. Here's another edge right here. Here's another edge right here. Those are all edges. Now, if I look at a face in pink, let's look at this front face. What shape is that front face? That front face is just a square. The edges of a cube are just the sides of a square face. The edges on a cube are the sides of one of the square faces. A cube has 6 square faces, and the edges of the cube are just the sides of those 6 square faces. Choose and sketch a 2-dimensional shape or a 3-dimensional object found in the world and discuss its attributes using the following words: parallel, intersecting, perpendicular, vertical, and horizontal. All right. So what do I got? I want to do a very simple shape. So in my room right now, there is a cupboard. It looks a little bit something like this. It is a large box. It's got a couple of doors here. And it's got a couple of drawers here. Oh, look at how beautiful that looks. All right, so we are going to talk about some of these words. Parallel. Parallel edges. So 2 edges that would be parallel. I'm going to just highlight 2 edges that are parallel. This edge and this edge would be parallel lines. So I'm going to just highlight them as parallel. Those are parallel. I'll do those in pink. Intersecting point. Intersecting lines. So intersecting lines. Those are 2 edges that come together. So let's look at this edge and this edge and this edge. They all intersect at this point there. So I'm going to highlight those in blue. They all intersect right there. Perpendicular. Well, guess what? All of those edges are also perpendicular. Perpendicular. That's perpendicular there, that's perpendicular there. They're all perpendicular to each other. So I just put a little square in the corner to indicate that they're perpendicular. Vertical. Vertical means going up and down. So I've got a bunch of vertical. That's vertical there, that's vertical there, that's vertical, that's vertical, that's vertical, that, that. Those are all vertical. So I'm just going to highlight one or two. I'm just going to highlight one. The guy in orange is a vertical edge. Now I could also do vertical faces. This face right here is also vertical. The whole face is going up. So I'm going to highlight that in a different color. I'll just choose a green. So this whole face is also vertical. All right, now let's take a look at horizontal. Horizontal. Horizontal edges, well, there's lots. There's this edge, 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 this edge. All of those edges are horizontal. They're all going like the horizon. So I'm just going to highlight one. And I'm going to choose a yellow highlighter. There's a horizontal edge right there. Now there's also faces that are horizontal, but there's only one horizontal face visible here. It's this top face of the cabinet. It would be horizontal. So I'm going to fill that in with a red highlighter. So this is a horizontal face. So there we go. I talked about parallel edges, intersecting edges, perpendicular lines, vertical and horizontal edges and faces. All right, I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please contact